You know, there are some songs that just pull you into a world, right? A world so dark and so compelling you can almost feel the sorrow yourself. Well, today we're going to dive deep into one of those. We're breaking down the tragic myth at the heart of the Gothic ballad, The Last Coin by NecroVeil.
So the song kicks off with this line, and right away it drops us into this world filled with old rules, ancient rituals. It sets this really somber, almost mythological tone. You get the sense this isn't just about one person's grief. It's about something bigger, something universal, like the price you have to pay to cross from one world to the next.
And that leads us to the big question, the one that really drives this whole story. The song takes this old rule, this thing that's supposed to be for the dead, and it just completely flips it on its head. It asks this desperate, haunting question that's going to push our main character right to the absolute edge.
All right, so to really get what's happening on this journey, we've got to go back to the beginning, back to where all the pain started. The whole story really kicks off from this moment of just intense grief. That's the catalyst for everything that follows.
And listen to the detail here. It's so raw and physical. This isn't some shiny, magical coin from a fairy tale. No, it's covered in dust and blood. That makes it so real, you know? It's a tangible link to whatever just happened, something tragic, something violent. It feels heavy, real, stained with loss.
The lyrics paint a picture for us, right? Your eyes closed and time stands still. That sets the scene perfectly. A loved one is gone, and in that moment, when reality just shatters, our protagonist finds the coin, the one meant for the dead person's passage, and makes this huge, fateful decision. They're going to follow them.
In that decision, it throws us right into the central conflict, this mythological showdown. See, the protagonist isn't just sitting around grieving. They're actively going out and looking for a figure from legend, a gatekeeper between life and death. The song calls him the ferryman.
Okay, so to really get the weight of what's happening here, we need a little bit of background. This whole idea of paying a ferryman to get to the underworld, it comes straight from the ancient Greek myth of Charon's obol. And this wasn't just pocket change. This one single coin was everything. It was the difference between a soul finding peace or being stuck, wandering the shores for 100 years. The stakes are high.
So you can see exactly how NecroVeil is playing with the old legend here. Charon, the ferryman, he becomes the ferryman. The famous river Styx, it's just the river's edge. They're using these simpler, more modern terms, which makes this ancient, terrifying idea feel super immediate and personal. But here's the biggest twist, the most important part. The reason for the payment completely changes. It's not for a dead soul to pass into the afterlife anymore. Now, it's for a living person trying to buy one last, desperate goodbye.
And that brings us to the climax of the story. This is the ultimate bargain. It's frantic, it's escalating, and our protagonist starts offering up everything they have, one agonizing piece at a time.
It starts small, or, as small as it can be. The coin, that physical thing stained with dust and blood. That's the first offer on the table, the most literal part of the deal.
But of course, the coin isn't enough. The price immediately skyrockets. We go from something physical, something in their pocket, to the very essence of life. The plea gets way more desperate. Now they're offering up their own breath.
And then, this, the devastating end of the bargain. Take all I am. We're not talking about a coin anymore. We're not even just talking about life. This is the soul, the identity, everything they are. A total, complete surrender, all for just one more chance.
You know what's so powerful about this song? It's how it makes you see the emotional pain. It's not abstract. It's translated into these brutal physical things. Stitching a name into your own skin, guilt that actually bleeds, a ferryman who wants to see your scars, tearing your own heart out. These aren't just metaphors, you know. This is the language of pain that's just too much to bear.
And this line, this is it. This is the heart of the whole story. It boils down this whole complex, horrible bargain to its simple, terrifying truth. An entire soul traded for just one goodbye.
So, the trade is made, but what happens next? Well, the final part of the song dives into the consequences, and let me tell you, they are so much more horrifying than our protagonist ever could have imagined.
This is what they get. There's no beautiful, tearful reunion. Not at all. Instead, it's just a silent scream in an empty void. A place where that powerful love that started this whole thing, it just slowly dies. And the soul they traded away, it's being systematically destroyed. That is the real price they paid.
Then the song hits us with this number, 1,000. It's tied to the line, I pay the toll 1,000 times. And obviously that's not a literal number. It's meant to feel like infinity. The payment wasn't a one-and-done deal. It's an endless, repeating nightmare.
So when you look at it, what did this bargain really get them? It didn't buy a goodbye. It bought a prison cell. Our protagonist is now stuck in this horrifying loop, forced to relive the payment, relive the suffering, over and over and over again. And just when you think it can't get any worse, there's one final haunting twist. The protagonist's new job, their eternal fate, is to be the one who calls the ferryman for their lost love. Think about that. They're now a part of the very system they try to break, trapped in this endless job, always close, but forever, eternally separated. And so, the song leaves us with this ultimate tragic question. It really forces you to ask yourself, is one single fleeting moment worth an eternity of pain? And I think the answer, echoing in those silent screams from the void, is a pretty haunting one.